Hey guys, and welcome to my first ever penthouse build. I know. To say I was slightly shitting myself would be an understatement. Excuse my French. Um, Way back when, I don't know how long ago, Nixie Pix, yep, you requested a Peacemaker penthouse, so here it is. I decided to ease myself into the penthouse building ways with the smallest lot. This is the 30 by 20 lot. I think we're in the Arts District, I think. Yep, we are, and let me tell you, it was kind of annoying building up this high. To the left, as you can see, you can't see it at the moment, but there is a building right in front of this. So it was really annoying building because you'd move and you'd suddenly jump to the floor or you'd jump up high. I don't recommend it. If I would do this all again, I would actually build in reverse, so I'd make the back the front. I just swap it round, but it actually goes smaller at the back of the lot, so I couldn't switch it around without it looking weird. And also that made screenshots awful to take because I was constantly inside of a building. So, but here we are. I taken inspiration for this. Okay, so you requested a Peacemaker penthouse, but I started building this penthouse without Peacemaker in mind. I started building a penthouse just for the sake of it. I found this great architecture practice. What are they called? Architect. That's the one. On Instagram, and they just have visuals upon visuals upon visuals upon 3D visuals of their work, and they're all kind of very similar. So I took inspiration from different elements from their work, and I started doing it, and I didn't like it. So this does change quite a bit from how you see it now. Well, not quite a bit, just like tweaks here and there. But you'll have to forgive me because I didn't record the tweaks. I was playing my current household and I got kind of bored and I was like, let me go into my build save. So I went in there not expecting to do anything, then opened this up and was like, ooh, I hate it. Let me change it. So, that front part really is the thing that changes the most. It was a bit too symmetrical, I suppose. So it made it even more asymmetric. And it was kind of weird thinking where to put kind of entrances. So I suppose you could still use this as a regular house quite easily. For the styling of it, so the shape of it was kind of inspired by this person on Instagram. I can't remember who they are. If I remember, I'll put it in the description box. But then I was on Pinterest just browsing as I normally do, and I discovered a Brazilian architecture firm. And what's quite distinctive about modern Brazilian architecture is they normally have wood mixed with like concrete and things like that. Well, this particular architecture firm did, and I loved it. It's very, when I saw it, I thought it was like Spanish architecture. Lots of Spanish villas are kind of done in the same colour palette this ends up being in. But it is meant to be Brazilian. So if you don't want it to look Brazilian, all you got to do is take away the palm trees that I add in, and it basically just looks like a normal modern penthouse. So it's kind of versatile. Just swap out the plants, and it's not tropical anymore because you might want it to fit in perfectly with the rest of my Shuno, which my Shuno does not San Myshuno does not have palm trees. So please forgive that weird sticky outy bit at the back. That does go. I don't know what I was thinking of, but it does change for the better. And yeah, so I'm just adding in these little, I saw these little sticky innie bits, it's a very precise name, where you can add in windows. So we're going to add in windows there in a bit. And here I am trying to do this classic covered sun shady window thing with shelves. And then I did it and I was like, it's not dense enough and I could not be bothered to individually, one by one, add in all of these shelves. It will kill me. So I found this cool divider, and do you know what, I've used this divider before to do this same effect on a different build that you have never seen before. I don't know whether to resurrect it actually. So of course, when The Sims announced that there was going to be city living, me, like every other person that builds in The Sims, went apartment crazy and started building what we thought we would be able to progress on in the new expansion pack. So I actually built what was meant to be a hotel with a penthouse on top, and it would have like a restaurant underneath. It was based on this like amazing hotel in New York. It looked good. I used that same weird divider thing, but I think I used it at the top on the penthouse for privacy. It looked cool. And then The Sims announced that you could not build your own apartments, and then bye-bye to that idea. I thought I could just kind of, I don't know what I was going to do with it, but because you can only build 4 levels up, it didn't look like an amazing huge skyscraper of an apartment. I might try and resurrect it, but it's kind of like it had a really cool hotel like lobby. I never furnished it, but the outside looked cool. Like it had 2 entrances and really cool, ultra modern. It has those windows that we got in Get Together, those weird kind of blobby ones that look really ultra modern. Oh, we've changed. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll try and resurrect it, but it'll look weird just plonked on top of a skyscraper. And here we are putting all the wallpapers in. As you can see, we have totally changed. We have gone divider crazy. It was just kind of small tweaks. I definitely tweaked the back. Just kind of, it was too flat. So just took it in a bit, add something, a bit of interest. Also at the back, I put in a skylight. So that is going to be a skylight into the kitchen. So very much a kind of common thing I saw with Brazilian architecture was definitely having the outside part of the inside. Unfortunately, this is quite a small lot, so I didn't manage to get as much of the outside to the inside as I really wanted to. But I suppose I just have to move it onto a bigger lot to do that. But I really do like the back of the building, the swimming pool out there. I got inspiration from, I saw this like almost oasis up on top of an apartment. It was like it looked like a New York apartment. Traditional like red brick apartment, and it just had like this jungle on top of it. So I took inspiration from that. It's, you know, when you take inspiration from something and then you look back at the original inspiration and you look at what you've come up with and you're like, it looks nothing like it. How the hell was I inspired by it? That's exactly what I think about the back of this one. It turned out totally different. If you saw the image, you'd be like, they look nothing alike. But yeah, the original one had like iron like metal fencing and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, no, we're keeping it looking kind of Brazilian. I'm calling this Brazilian slash European, as in Spanish European. We'll just got a bit of a Latin flair then. It was really difficult trying to decide what the hell I was putting in this area. I went with a fountain, because why not? I felt like I needed more fountains in this. Oh yes, and I had a bit of a problem with, I wanted to put a fountain in, like a proper Sims fountain thing, and it says you can't put one in. So I actually had to put a swimming pool here. So no, don't let your Sims swim in this little bit. And also I couldn't put the swimming pool 2 squares to the right, because there's a little balcony underneath. So I couldn't do it. So that's why I've made it that short. I wanted it to go further to the right, but I couldn't. So there we go. And we're just doing a landscaping. I love the colours. They look very tropical, especially with that. So yeah, if you don't want it to be tropical, if you want it to kind of blend in better with the rest of the city, then literally just take the plants out and put some non-tropical ones in, and you're kind of sorted. Because I think this building could be in any kind of city, and it's really just the plants that kind of bring it. That and the deck. Lots of decking to me equals a very sunny place. Oh, and you see me putting in, I don't know what I was doing in live mode then, but I think now I'm just going to put in lighting. That is always important in a build. Don't ever forget the lighting. It needs to look good at night as well. So I just put lighting in all these. I did want to kind of do like a cross-hatched top to this area, but it didn't really work out. With penthouses, it's really weird. You have to have a room up there to put like fencing down and all this kind of stuff. It is just a headache. That is the one thing, as this is the first time I've built a penthouse, it's really weird because it treats the whole lot as one room. Not like if you were building on a normal plot, you just put a square and it wouldn't register the outside. But this one does, so every time you click on the house, it also shows like the outside empty space as a room, which is just a little bit weird. But it didn't hinder me. So what am I doing now? Oh, I'm making the pool look a bit more pretty. We're doing this outside bit. Of course, a pool like this, I'd call this kind of like a lap pool, but this is literally goals. This pool, if I had a penthouse, actually, scrap this. If I had a penthouse, never mind with a pool. If I had a penthouse, goals. But a penthouse with a swimming pool out the back is just ridiculous. There are many penthouses that exist, and not a lot of them have swimming pools on top. Let me put it that way. And I think at this stage I was still doing just a regular penthouse, which is why we have non-Peacemaker clutter there. I do go back later and remove that. Don't worry, there is only Peacemaker custom content in this. Maybe I didn't make that clear at the beginning. Yes, there is only Peacemaker custom content in this build. That and regular sim stuff. So now we're moving on to the inside. The concrete is continued inside, and I really do like that just one random window. I've seen that on a lot of architecture builds, you know, that you admire on Pinterest. So I had to add that in. This here, I take forever to try and decide a stupid photo or no artwork to go in that little gap. that I purposely left a gap in the bookcase thinking, oh, a really skinny piece of artwork could go in there, and then there was nothing that looked good. As you can see, like, I think I changed that because that doesn't really go with it either. I think I end up just going with one of those Peacemaker paintings anyway. Here I am trying to use these dividers again. I used those on the, Upper East Side build, but they would have worked really well actually. That would have definitely given a Brazilian / Spanish feel. But here we are. This area is going to be a study. So that is a Peacemaker desk, yes. And I kind of make it like an L-shaped desk. That also is goals because you've made it. Actually, I think you've made it if you have 2 seats in front of your desk, because that means that people are coming to speak to you and you're an important person. You're important enough to have a home study and you have people coming to your house. Yeah. So mostly this interior, we're doing lots of dark woods, mixed with white and also black, which is another thing I noticed about modern Brazilian architecture. I'm going to say / Spanish as well, because in my research I didn't see it, but I've definitely seen it before. Definitely Spanish architecture is quite similar as well. But yeah, dark woods, but definitely, very light walls. So it's not too dark. But yeah, I tend not to use dark woods that often, actually. So it is kind of a nice change. And I tend not to use... do I use white? No, I normally just go for like a kind of mid-brown normally. But I liked having to use dark woods here to stick with the theme. And here we are, just putting in a nice little... We're going to call this a gallery kind of wall thing. Do I leave that plant there? Do you know what that is? I think that plant underneath the shelf is probably the only thing of Peacemakers I don't like. I really don't think it looks good. Like the actual plant leaves. So I think I might change that out. Or maybe I left it in. If I left it in, feel free to change it. Feel free to change anything. And I am continuously in this build trying to use that, what was it? That artwork that you get unlocked. That's on the right hand side, that colourful one. I'm continuously trying to use that, and I couldn't fit it in the study. I couldn't fit it in the living room. So I do end up fitting it in the downstairs bathroom, which you don't see me decorate, but I do. Because of course, whenever my builds run over time, I always cut out the bathroom. I'm guilty, like all other YouTubers. They're like, once you've seen one bathroom, you've seen it all. Which you kind of have. The downstairs bathroom is kind of similar. So here we are. I just wanted to bring the study out a little bit. I like the way that wall just comes out a little bit. And then I ended up just taking away... I had an extra like little nook bit, but I made it 2 squares wide. I think I ended up just putting plants on a table inside that. Now here we get to the living room. Now in the architectural firm that I kind of took the inspiration from for the interior, they're based in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and they had sofas in there that looked just like these Peacemaker sofas. I was like, it's destiny. I have to make this a Peacemaker build. So that's what I did. And I'm trying to make this like a built-in thing. I wish there was some that didn't have the drawers on, then that would have worked. But it didn't. So I don't end up doing that. I end up doing something quite cool with the artwork, like that. So our centerpiece is now the artwork. I do change the color of the artwork because basically the main theme of this is pops of mustard. So I change the artwork to kind of match that, and I do this huge cascading chandelier here to go, so it looks amazing from above. Unfortunately, when you're below, you do not see the chandelier because it's in the room above, which is really annoying. Also, the light doesn't go down to hit this lower floor, even though you've got all those lights at the top. For some reason, the Sims doesn't register that there's no floor there, and the light doesn't light up down below. So I do actually put one of those chandeliers on this lower level. So it's inside the other chandelier if you look from the top, but then if you're down here, then you'll just have one chandelier lighting up the area. And here we are putting in more stuff. I love the angular chair. That's by Peacemaker. That's in the Myra set, so loved it. Also, the inspiration that I took from this architecture firm for the interior had lots of black and white, and I didn't want to do a black and white floor, but I loved pulling in just the black and white through the rugs, which I have done a zebra rug and then a kind of chevron-y one. I love those. And I also continue to do kind of that into the kitchen. So I wanted we're doing the lobby area. So the lift, as you can see it in the mirror, comes into this area. I was trying to fit in here a wardrobe so it looked like a little cloakroom area, but it just didn't look good, so we go back to what we had it before. So it's just a kind of ends up just being a little sitting area out there. But what am I trying to do here? Oh yeah, I first originally thought I was going to put in like a circular table into that lobby, but I didn't go with it. I don't know why, but and like everybody else, I love the marble tables that you have there. So that kind of really fitted in. Lots of marble are normally in these types of houses. Unfortunately, we don't have many marble objects that are kind of that kind of marble. I wish we just had marble kitchen units. Like if we had marble like that on top of a kitchen unit, like a modern kitchen unit with that marble on top, would be amazing. Unfortunately, I don't think you could have a kitchen top with that kind of texture marble because the texture is so large, and of course when you have a kitchen unit, it's got to be modular and fit together, so I don't think you could ever have one that was that marble. But we do go with I think we go with granite in the kitchen. But here again, picking up yet again a mustard. I do love a bit of mustard in my builds, actually. I've got to say, I think I always end up doing a pop of mustard. I don't know, it just always looks the best. And I do go back later. Some of those plants end up going through the wall. I do remove them. Pet peeve, I hate when plants go through walls. So I have gone through this building making sure that nothing sticks through walls. Hands up that I literally take an extra 5 minutes on every build to make sure there are no plants going through any walls possible. But this area, I really did struggle with what to put in these because I created that extra little nook area between the study and the living room. I really found it difficult to think what to put in this other area, because normally I'd probably put a computer, but we've already got one. We've already got a study right there. So I ended up putting another just console table and a little poof thing to sit down on. I think I put some artwork up there as well. But now we are in the kitchen, definitely continuing the outside to the inside with this wood. And I do change those counter units to white, which is the same as the outside, which is white and this wood colour. These units, yet again, Peacemaker, he did a recolour of the bland and whatever it is it blank and bland or something, the base game ones. Those are like the only units from the base game, or no, just from in-game units that I would use normally. They need to do some more like recolors of those. That's the only reason I have these, is just for variety, but I wish they did more recolors. The Sims team actually did more recolors, because like I know that most people, you can opt to send your game data into EA, so they know what items in the game get used more than others, so they must know that those units always get used. So they should really put in some recolors, because they have like a grey, a blue, which no one uses. They have like black and pink. That is the one thing that they should remove from all recolor swatches in The Sims 4, is that fuchsia, pink and black. It is like excuse me, that has got to be the worst colour combination that the Sims team came up with, and they continue to bring it through every item they add into the game. If they made it like baby pink, like a more pastel pink and black, I'd use it. But when they have bright pink and black, I can't do it. I can't. So here am I trying to put lighting in. Love these strip lights that came with Spa Day. Those I use quite a bit. I was trying to fit in this pillar, so it looked like it fitted in, but it just didn't go well. I think I could have fit it in. Actually, I know it would have fitted in if I just used a regular unit there instead of doing the corner units. Here I am trying to make it darker again to match this table, but there are no colour swatches that match. But I go lighter, because that dark one was almost too dark. So I'm trying to go and put this dining table here as well. And I do struggle with what colour to do them. Continuously struggle, but I do love those chairs from City Living. Also, I'm gonna leave a link down below. For those of you, I don't think about it because I have every expansion pack, but some people could not afford to get every expansion pack in the game. I suppose those people should CC more because it's free. But I'm going to leave a link below of where I actually get my games from. I did kind of shop around before, but I don't normally actually get my expansion packs from the Origin store. I normally get them from a reseller. I think the one I'm going to link is Instant Gaming down below. That's where I got my City Living expansion. They were the cheapest. They're always cheaper. They're good. They kind of, what they do is I pre-ordered mine and my City Living expansion, and they basically just send you an email when the code is ready to be viewed, and they just give you the game code, and then you put that into Origin and you download it through Origin like you would normally if you say you just bought it from there. Kind of like what I used to do with my Sims 3 packs. You'd register a game. That's what you do with those. So I'm going to link that down below as well. Here we are. Oh, I forgot to say, when we were in the kitchen, I did that kind of triangle I did a diamond design in the kitchen. That took me forever to decide where to do that and what colours, so I cut out a lot of that footage. So now we're up in the bedroom. Now I think this is the room that I struggle with the most, because actually I don't use Peacemaker beds that often, because I don't particularly like the bedding, I think. Originally, back in the day, when I first stumbled across Peacemaker, I did use his beds. I only used his beds, but then I came across that those bed blankets and stuff, and I like those. They go with more because they're plain. But of course, this is a Peacemaker build, so I couldn't use them. If I was using this, I would just put one of those blankets on top. I'm sorry. Or I'd use a Maxim's bed. That's what I would do. Just because I don't like the headboard. I wanted a bed without the headboard, because I wanted that marble to be the headboard. I do get around that later. The bed is going to move, because I just didn't like the way that this bedroom flowed. There was just something wrong about it, so I move everything. So the bed ends up being here, and I managed to cover up the headboard as well. And as you can see, I'm deleting the walls, and that is to put in those drawer units, because they stick to walls. So if I had a wall there, I couldn't place it where I want it. So I just temporarily delete the walls, put the drawers where I want them, and then put the wall back in. So there I have raised up, because the drawer units are hiding the fact that it's not on the floor. So I've raised up that marble bit, so it is. I suppose if it wasn't a Peacemaker build, I'd probably end up putting more clutter on that headboard unit than I actually end up doing. And here I am taking 5 years to decide which ottoman to put there. I really wanted one that stretched the whole width of the bed, but I couldn't find one. So we end up going with the one that's actually meant to match the bed. And I still do go through and end up changing the bedding even more. I think I end up going just with the plain bedding so that it matches everything else. I really do like that green. Actually, with this, the green and dark wood goes really well. But there was nothing else in this build that was green, so we change it out. And here I am using, that's what I'd normally like to do in a bedroom. I love to put a fireplace and a TV. That is, and I was doing a fireplace, and I was like, haven't got a smoke detector, so I put one of those downstairs for you. Here I am continuously trying to find, and I do really like that bedding as well. That's kind of tropical looking. Then I thought it was a bit too matchy with the painting above there, and I really liked that rug, but they're just a little bit too big. I wish he did all of those rugs in I think is it like 4x3 or something? If you did it like 3x2, just a smaller version. And here we use the vintage glam rugs, and they look really cool actually, layered up. And they came in just the perfect colours to match the rest of the bedroom. And yet again, this painting, this is my favourite Peacemaker painting, I think. And I'm pretty sure they are just images, just lots of blurs upon blurs upon blurs. But they look so good. Like, so good. I wonder if he was copying something, or I'd just love to know what it was from. More Peacemaker little vases going in. Do you know what? I should have used those more in the rest of the build, because those are really cool. I like them. They're really modern, and all these weird kind of angles. They look really cool. And that is from Dine Out, I think. But I think it took me a little bit longer to do this penthouse, considering it is a 1-bedroom penthouse. It took me forever. I've done more bigger builds. Yeah, I've done bigger builds in shorter amount of time. It's the fact that I had to search the catalogue for Peacemaker stuff. What I realised after I finished doing this, I was like, what should I have done differently? And I realised that what I should have done is just made a room with Peacemaker stuff in it. And then I could have just selected, and instead of having to scroll through the whole catalogue with all of the other custom content I had, I could have just had Peacemaker and regular stuff. So, yes, and I'm forever trying to use those plant pot things that came with City Living, but they just didn't fit in, so I had to get rid of them. And I was really sad that I had to get rid of them because I really wanted them. And we just do a whole little collection of plants behind the bed, and of course I had to fit in one last little plant on the fireplace. And do you know what I think we need more of? Is like bathroom rugs, like, you know, for getting out the bath. There's that rug that I use there, that's from City Living. There's another one that came with a base game and it only has about 3 colours, so it's like pick white or pick disgusting, like a weird aqua colour, but not a nice aqua, like a bleh, aqua. So more plants. I think we're about to head to screenshots. So this is up on the gallery for download right now. I put it up last night, so I know it's there. Don't forget to tick the advance in the advanced section to tick include custom content. Without that, you cannot see any of my lovely builds. So that would be a shame. That is a very popular question I get. Can you put it up on the gallery? It is there, I promise. So here we are in the study area, very mustardy. So of course, if you don't like mustard, like as much as I do, you can literally just go in and change the colours and you can make it into a completely different house. This will look really cool, just like in neutrals, maybe, instead of having that pop colour. And this little area I didn't show because I just put a sitting area up above. And the bedroom with marble and sitting area. I do love those Peacemaker chandelier-y things. But anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Bye guys.